Welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I am Connor Williams and we're back with one of our 24/7 news report videos. We start our news report video this evening with our headline news, and the headline big news from today is that Ellis Sims has signed a new contract with Everton. Ellis Sims has signed a new 3-year deal with Everton. The 20-year-old's contract was due to expire at the end of this season, so obviously it's really important that we try and get a deal with him. The reports earlier on saying that Everton were trying to get a deal done. His new contract will keep him till June of 2024. Obviously, Sims spent a lot of his time out at Blackpool last season, but he has said that Everton is a massive club and he loves being here. I think that's really great news for us. I really like Ellis Sims. I think he's a fantastic young player. Obviously, his goal-scoring record is fantastic for the under-21s. He did all right at Blackpool when he went out on loan. I'd love to see him go back there now they're in the Championship. I think that's that next level step. But yeah, I really do think he can be a really good player if we take care of him properly. I know people will say I would have liked to see him get games this season with Dobbin. I think you just got to be a little bit careful because Premier League's such a high jump from the under-21s. You don't want to throw him in there, him have 2 bad games. And I'm not saying people will, but if people start to go, he's not actually that good, I don't know what the hype was about, which is hype, then people can sort of write them off. And the young lads, you've still got potential at that age. You could grow into a really wonderful player. So I think we've just got to nurture him. Same with Gordon now, we've got to nurture him. He's fantastic. We all know he's fantastic, but he will every now and then have an off game, and we've just got to, stick with the process that he has got the potential. Sorry about that. We also have some news that Everton are running out of time to sign Luis Diaz. They're running out of the race for the Porto winger. The Colombian international was linked with a move to Goodison Park during the summer, but the Blues, with the Blues offering James Rodriguez and a potential deal. The Sport Witness have reported via Portuguese outlet Ebola that Porto expect any transfer to break their sale record of 50 million currently held by Real Madrid's Eder Militao. Instead, it has been suggested Newcastle are now the front runners, and that they will meet the club's valuation of the player. Obviously, this is a big issue. I said this in a couple of the ones the other day. Newcastle, now they've got money, will go after the same sort of targets as us because they will see themselves in our level of trying to break into the European spots. A bit like West Ham are always linked with players that we're linked with. So obviously now comes the problem of competing with Newcastle, who money-wise are just, I know financial fair play has got us in a bit of a vice grip, but they've got so much money to burn, and I don't think financial fair play will affect them yet, so they can just go out and burn through their transfer budget. So it is going to be a little bit tough to compete with them. I mean, if we lose out to Luis Diaz, it's something we all thought had happened anyway this season. I don't think anyone thought this deal was still alive after the James Rodriguez thing fell through. I thought it was dead in the water. Hopefully I'm wrong. Newcastle, he doesn't want to play Freddie Howe in Newcastle. They might still go down as well, which is a massive possibility, and one that I don't think people are talking about because I don't think people want, the media want to, because it's, it's still quite a shiny thing that they've got money, but they could still go down, and I don't think he'll want to play in the Championship. Obviously people will say in the comments money talks, but I mean Porto in the Champions League to come play in the Championship, maybe he will. There are players out there that do it for the money, but I'd hope that he'd want to play in the Premier League. Next we have the news that Everton are linked with Donny van der Beek. Here's another one that was rumoured in the summer, fell through. I thought this would rear its head again, just because he's not going to get games under Ollie, and this was going to be sort of along with will Ollie go, will he stay, it'll be will van der Beek go. Everton are reportedly interested in signing Donny van der Beek in January. According to ESPN, the Netherlands international is frustrated with his lack of playing time at United. I think that's pretty obvious for everyone watching from the inside outside in, and could push for a move in the new year. The report states Everton are looking to sign Van der Beek on loan. It's also claimed that Newcastle are in the race for the former Ajax player. Again, Newcastle again, shock horror. This is going to happen a lot. Loans are I've got no issues with this on a loan, with the option to buy maybe, but this is clever. Don't go and buy him because he doesn't have that many games in the Premier League, so I don't know how adapted he'd be. A loan deal would be a nice way to look at him, assess it, and then, with an option to buy, we can choose to if we want to. If not, we can send him back to United, and he's United's problem if he's not very good for us. That is a really clever way to do it. I hope that's how we do it. I hope we don't just go, here's our money, let's have him, and then he ends up not working out. We don't want a Davy Klaassen where good player just didn't work out for us. I always thought Klaassen was a good player. It just wasn't meant to be. And he came in a time where we seem to have signed another 10 number 10s just for the sake of it. Obviously Rooney came as well, and a couple of others. So it's a tough world. But Van der Beek, it was very good at Ajax. Obviously the Dutch league's different to here. And he also played all right in the Champions League. Maybe that's something to look into. If he could play in the Champions League, maybe he'll be all right here, because that is, well, the Champions League is the elite. If you can hold your nerve in the Champions League, then you can certainly hold it here, and that'll be something. I have got some stats though for Donny van der Beek. He's played 2 games this season, 17 minutes played, literally nothing, and you can't blame him when he's had 17 minutes. Last year he played 19 games he started 4 games, got 19 appearances. He got 1 goal and an assist, and it was pretty unworthy of telling you. But when he was at Ajax, he was getting 8 goals, 5 assists, 6 goals. He's a bit of a box-to-box midfielder that could chip in with a goal, which you could argue is what we need in midfield. Decore did it for the first couple of games, but a player that could have chipped in with even more goals. I think he could even play that number 10 role if Rafa wanted him to. So I'm all for it on a loan deal. I don't see the issue with that, and I don't think many others will. I hope not anyway, because I think it's a really clever thing to do. There is obviously new images as well, 9 new images. The Echo have got them on their website. Of Everton's Bramley Moore, transformation going on there. That's really good. Dan Meese has been saying, it's crucial that the Everton Stadium work continues. He told the Echo, and he said that he feels the pressure of having to replace Goodison Park, and every little thing's got to be correct. And it's not just the fact that it's got to live up to Goodison Park the best it can, but it needs to be good. Spurs set the bar in the Premier League. The Bernabeu have unleashed new plans to redo the Bernabeu. That looks fantastic. Obviously we can't compete with Real Madrid, but I hope we do what Spurs do, and I hope we rent the ground out when it's not used. I don't know if the NFL will come outside of London. I hope so, because that'd be quite good. But the NFL, concerts, anything that can bring in a bit of extra revenue. I'm sure the owner, Farhad Moshiri and Bill Kenwright, and the board of directors aren't sitting there going, "Oh, I don't want your extra money." I'm sure they'll snap their hands off at it. So it's important, that we try and make money off the stadium as best we can, and Spurs, Daniel Levy does it really well. Next we have the news that Ross Barkley is tipped to see a return to Everton. The former midfielder has been tipped to a return in January. He obviously left Everton to join Chelsea, and has since fallen right down the pecking order. Went out on loan to Villa, just made 1 start in 8 appearances. The best game I actually saw him play for Villa was against Liverpool when they beat them 7-2. And even then he could have got a hat-trick. The amount of times I saw him trying to hit a left-footed shot, and I'm like, you're not left-footed. But yeah, keep an eye out for that one. I know obviously we did Ross Barkley a couple of days ago, and a lot of you saying no. Just keep an eye out for that. Also we have the news that Besiktas are afraid they're going to miss out on Cenk Tosun deal. They were hoping to re-sign Tosun in January. The Turkish striker is out of contract at the end of the season. Wow, he's out of contract at the end of this season, and his Everton career has been absolutely abysmal. That was really money well spent. I think that was 20 million we bought him for. Sorry, don't mean to be negative, but that does shock me that he might go on a free. Yeah, according to Turkish outlet Takvim, Besiktas are starting to panic after seeing Tosun named in the last 2 of Everton's previous squads. The report adds that the Turkish side wants to complete a deal before Everton's opinion of the 30-year-old changes and makes him want to stay at the club. I hope, for the love of God, they get him quickly then, if that's the case, because it's just not worked out, and giving him an extra contract a couple of years won't make it work any better. Also, there is one last thing to add, and it's that obviously we've got obviously the Premier League is back now. We've had international weekend, so we look forward to seeing Everton playing again. Hopefully we can start off with a win, because we've got a really hard run of games this year. This 5 games. I think we've got City at the weekend. Then we have Brentford, I think, as a break, and then we have like Arsenal, Liverpool, Crystal Palace is a bit of a break. Chelsea, Leicester, and then Burnley on Boxing Day. So it's really important that we try and pick up points. City, going to be a tough ask. I'd take a draw from it happily. But that is all I've got time for today. Don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe down below on anything I've spoken about today. Will you take Ross Barkley back? You were all quite vocal on that one. Ellis Sims, how happy are you for him that he's got a new deal? Getting Tosin, do you want to keep him now or should we just get rid? How much of a waste would it be if we let him go on a free though? And are you happy about the Dan Mee stuff? It looks really promising. Don't forget any Everton merchandise as well. Get it through the link in the description down below. Massively helps out the channel. I appreciate it and I know the boys do. So thank you very much. Stay safe.